Now that we are a few days into the Golden Week celebration, it is finally time for us to give us out our thoughts and overall impressions on everything that has been brought to the table so far. Now, obviously, I would not be alone for this type of video, so I'm joined by some great guests. The first of those being Goresh. Hello, Goresh.
Hello, everybody. Good to be here.
The second of those being Mr. Joe Wags.
Yo, happy to be here. Very excited to talk about this celebration.
And the third of those, regretfully, Minato's Flash. Hello, Minato.
I feel like that's kind of rude. Everyone else got a nice introduction in the news. What was that for? Okay, but I'm excited to talk about this. I've been waiting for a long time.
Yes, so, like I said in the beginning, Golden Week is finally here, and the Dragon Ball saga is finally getting some summonable attention. Now, I'm sure I'm not speaking for just myself when I say that a lot of us have been waiting for this celebration for quite a long time, and specifically, summonable Dokkan Fest level units, not just the kind of free-to-play purgatory of the World Tournament that this saga has been relegated to. So I'll open the floor for you guys.
I'm very excited about this. I'm someone that's a big fan of Dragon Ball Saga, and while these technically aren't Dragon Ball Saga category units, it is still Dragon Ball Saga buffs, because they do have the Dragon Ball Saga link, so you can still use them in conjunction with other characters. But kind of my thought on a celebration like this is this excites me a lot more than just getting like 2 Vegeta Goku type units, right? I like when we get celebrations that are around themes and characters that are underrepresented, and so my initial thought is I was very excited to see this theme. So I'll pass it off to someone else for their just initial impressions, but that's what I think.
Yeah, so we have been seeing Dokkan do, of course, a lot of like lesser, quote-unquote, lesser hype characters, lesser hype fights for representation in the game. Like we have Kale, got a Dokkan Fest. We have Super 17, we got his second Dokkan Fest. But this is kind of a different thing because this is a fight that is including Goku and Piccolo, 2 of the most hyped characters in the series. And it took them over 8 years to give us like actual worthy versions of these characters in the game. So I would not even classify this as a lesser hype theme or celebration or you know, for the characters here, because it's Goku and Piccolo, right? So a bit strange that it took them this long to finally give us good representation for this fight. But of course, I think they did a really good job, and there's still a lot more animations that they have not given us for these characters. Plus, we also have the Kakarot DLC dropping for this fight as well. So down the road, if we get LRs of these characters, which we will, I could definitely see them taking a bunch of new animations for them from the Kakarot DLC and also from the remaining portions of the fight that are not represented in these characters.
I mean, I took a look at the character animations that they're missing. There's like the reverse Mafuba. There's like that mouth beam he uses. There's like the super Kamehameha, right? Feet Kamehameha. There's like so much that they haven't used. That's like they could definitely make characters of these in the future, but I think they did a really good job with what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of animations even in just the TUR versions, right? So for Goku, we have the Ki Blast nullification. Of course, we have the Meteor combination. Then we have the standby mechanic. We have the intros for both characters. We have the headbutt finish that Goku has. For Piccolo, of course, we have the giant form. We have the AoE super, or whatever it's called, the super explosive wave. I think they call it something else, but yeah, that's his active skill. And of course, we have the his super attack as well, plus the intro. So yeah, there's a lot to these characters, even though they're just TURs.
I think the big thing that, you talk about how this like is not lesser hype. I think that just comes from the portion of the fandom that has not seen the original Dragon Ball and kind of started with Z, or I've even met some people that started with Super, for crying out loud. So it's like maybe it's just like less recognizable to some, but I think you guys have kind of encapsulated it well, right? Where it's like this is super exciting. This is like one of the most pivotal fights overall in the series, I would say, and getting that representation finally, it's long overdue.
Yeah, the other thing that makes it exciting is that the characters are dummy busted. Like, they're really good, and the banner units are good, because they've been fumbling some banner units, and the fact that these banner units are so good adds a lot of value to the banners, and the banners themselves I thought were actually really solid. So I think that makes it even better when the units are good, the banners are good, they're exciting, it's fun. Very much enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
they're a little better than Frost, I think.
Yeah, just a little better.
You think so?
Or the Dr. Mew and 20 or whatever. Like, yeah, a little bit better.
Those are some fine gentlemen right there, all right? They're holding their drinks and doing all that. Yeah, so I guess we could kind of bring that up, right? You talk about how good the banner units are, and it's just funny that it seems like when Dokkan doesn't know who to do for a banner unit, they just hit the Krillin button. Because we talked about this earlier. This is I believe the 4th Krillin banner unit within the last under 3 years at this point.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
Krillin does make all its sense, though.
Right.
Krillin is like the ultimate side character, right? I mean, at this point, they definitely could do a Krillin Dokkan Fest, and I think probably within the next 2 years, we will definitely see that happen. But like, what better banner unit fitting thematic character is there than Krillin? Like, he's the ultimate sidekick.
Yep, the Senzu bean thrower and all that, right? You just think about somebody like that. I'd say that's a good way to put it. So, talking about kind of some units that have benefited from this celebration quite a bit. The first one that I wrote down here is LR Jackie Chun. This guy went from maybe not being bad, but we talked about how good he was as a free-to-play unit, and then he just got like a major buff, especially with the support that he gives being around, especially with this Goku. What do you guys think of this Jackie Chun buff that just recently happened?
I think it's great. I mean, like when they drop Jackie Chun, it's like, okay, he just needs a team, like a world tournament kind of team, and we just got it. So he's really cooking with that 50% support. It's pretty huge.
Right.
I think on global he's 90%, but on GP you're able to rainbow him, and he does quite well. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, I like him a lot as well. I was using him before this because I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Saga, so I've been doing Dragon Ball Saga runs on my channel in Red Zone. And Jackie Chun, he can tank because he's got that damage reduction. You just got to make sure you hit the enemy that's attacking him. And he's very good. But now it's just like he had this whole part of his passive you couldn't access, which was the 50% support to World Tournament. Now that is actually very viable. And if you run Goku as the leader, I mean, running Goku and Piccolo on the same team under the Goku leader skill is actually really good. And because Goku and Piccolo just share those two Dragon Ball links, like they share enough links, you can just run them as a rotation. Jackie Chun's hitting out with really good support. He's in slot 3 tanking, which is what we need our slot 3 units to do. We need them to be able to tank. So yeah, very nice buff for this guy. And I think he's actually like a premium unit to run on their teams.
I think they definitely saw like the line when they created this Jackie Chun character. They obviously had this Golden Week planned out far in advance, because Jackie Chun's support doesn't affect himself. So this was actually a useless mechanic because you weren't running the world. Who's running the world tournament team? That's not a team, but that doesn't exist until this celebration happened. So I think they definitely saw this celebration, and in planning for that, that's when they designed this character. So I think he is a really good addition to the world tournament team, which is actually, funny to say, a runnable team after 6 years of it existing in the game. And it's like, you compare him to the prior World Tournament reward, which I think was Mercenary Tau, I believe, was the last LR.
Yes.
I mean, you just look at the difference. Mercenary Tau was basically a character that is designed to do damage, and that's it. Like that, he is his own character. He's not really helping the team in any way. He's okay. I mean, he's not bad. But Jackie Chun is clearly designed to help round out this World Tournament team, which is exactly what it needed, especially with the fact that it's now a usable team. So I think that's a really good addition.
You bring up a good transition point with rounding out teams, right? And somebody else that's going to help round out a team, specifically the Namekians, is the Physical Piccolo EZA. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited for this, and kind of the big thing about this EZA is just like, you could sum it up in one word, right? Scouter. I'm super excited for this EZA, and I figured I'd kind of like, again, open up the floor for you guys. What do you think of this Physical Piccolo?
I want to go back to your thought about just rounding off teams really quick. You mean like how LR Boo rounded out that Kale team? That was fantastic.
Yes.
How that? Yes, exactly.
Let's not talk about that.
Physical Piccolo, though, dude, I'm very excited for this guy. And even if you look at his kit on paper and you're not that impressed, you got to remember this guy's carrying a Scouter, and there's a reason why they don't just give unconditional Scouter to many units. I think it's Jace and Chilai are the only other two units that just have unconditional Scouter. I think everyone else has conditions to it. Bardock is pretty free. He just only has it for like 5 turns or something like that. But like, Scouter is so powerful. And Piccolo's big thing initially was just like having to be with other Namekians, and everything was named Piccolo. You basically had to run it with Nail, and that was it. Well, now we got Orange Piccolo. And so you got really premium Namekians to run with this guy. And I think with his stacking defense, I think he's still going to be really good. He's going to be able to transform very easily. I think he's going to be so much fun to play, and you've got the Scouter. I can't wait for this, man. And when I judge celebrations, a big factor for me is the EZA. The EZA is like one of my favorite parts about this game, and they got a good one here. So this makes the celebration really good for me.
I think one thing to mention about this character that I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about is the fact that he can link with other Piccolos once he's transformed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that is a big thing, because I mean, let's face it, most of the Namekian characters in this game are just going to be named Piccolo. Yeah, we have Power Awakening Piccolo now. We have Piccolo Jr. now, but we still have like a bunch of other, like STR Piccolo. He's obviously going to be on this team, right? Yep. So there are going to be instances where you're having multiple characters named Piccolo on the same team, on the same rotation. And so this physical Piccolo's ability to actually link with other Piccolos, who that's what the team is mostly going to comprise of, just Piccolo. I think it's a pretty big strength because the links that he has are pretty strong.
And I think it's just a 4-turn. It's a pretty easy transformation. Like, it's pretty free. Yeah.
I mean,
so...
the hard part about the condition back when this guy first released was the fact that you needed another Namekian on the team. Right. And obviously now it's not a big deal at all. So.
Right. You can even link him with himself if you're running him as the leader. Have one untransform, one transform, full 7 links. You're good.
Yep.
Minato, anything over there, bud? Before we...
I mean, not really. No, you guys kind of just said everything I agree with, right? Not much else to put input, but I think Piccolo, I don't really have opinions on him because I want to use him before, like, he's actually in game. I'm on the second, so we're still a couple of days away right now. So it's like, I think he looks good, but that's all I could say, really.
Yes, so with that Piccolo EZA, I think a potential kind of question mark to ask is with someone else that could potentially EZA. Maybe not this celebration, but AGL Nail. I would really like to see his EZA come, because that could also be another uniquely named Namekian that could be really, really good with an EZA next to this Piccolo.
I mean, that'd be good, but he would have been in the data.
Right. No, I'm not saying, I said not in this celebration, just like coming down the line, right?
Oh, yeah, he could be helpful for sure.
Right.
Not gonna lie, I might just try him as is right now on that team and just see how he does. Because, like, in a long event, like, he can still get there. He's gonna get killed in red zone, but hey, I might take him some legendary Vegeta event, have some fun with him. I'm just curious how he's gonna look.
Right. So, this Piccolo Jr., Goresh, I think you had some really good points about this, but he is now going to be, without a doubt, especially in the stages you can run him on, the Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road King, and it's not exactly close either.
Yeah. If you were going to make a tier list that had every single character in the entire game on the tier list, and it was just for, like, Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road, this Piccolo would be, like, I don't know, 8 to 15 tiers above the rest of the characters in the game. He would be by himself. Literally, you have 10 tiers in between him and the rest of the game. That's how ridiculous this character is in not just World Tournament, but Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road. Because think about this. He starts the only fights where he's not really going to be as dominant is when there's one enemy, but that's usually only the final fight, and he can still stun. So that pretty much fodderizes the fights where it's just one enemy. But you start the fight, assuming there's more than one enemy, you instantly are able to use his AoE active skill, which is going to action break all enemies that it hits. The way his build-up super attack effect works in his passive is for every enemy he hits with his active skill counts towards 1 stack. And of course he needs to super 5 times or hit 5 enemies with his AoE to get the full stacks up. So you use that in slots 2 or 3. He then gets the additional high chance to super attack from being in slots 2 and 3, and he gets the 100% attack and defensive boost. Then you put him in slot 1. He gets the extra 60% attack and defensive boost from being in slot 1. He gets, if you're lucky, the extra 100% attack and defense from getting hit in slot 1. He's debuffing the entire enemy team by 30%, and he's doing like 5 supers, and he's stunning on them. So how do you lose? It's impossible. He's the best character in the game, like by 500 million miles in Super Battle Road. I remember like semi-recently when LR Golden Frieza came out, we were like, there's not going to be a better Super Battle Road character than this. He's untouchable. He can't take damage. And it's like, well, you kind of just don't have to take damage with this character. You just instantly win the second you zone into the fight. So you can't really beat that.
Somehow, if like, let's say he's in like a slot 7 or something, and you fall under 60% HP, you could just like use the Jack form too, right? He has that as well, which is really good for Super Battle Road.
Yeah, and I think he's a game changer for World Tournament. I think he's the new best World Tournament unit as well. There's so many advantages to this because, one, you're only getting 1 leader skill. You don't have to worry about ki. He can just pop that active skill. You get to attack before the enemies because the only way you lose in World Tournament is when enemies attack slot 1 before you do. Well, this resolves that. He can just pop it first, and he's going to nullify attacks out. So even if he doesn't kill them all, he might save you the Ghost Usher. The animation's very quick. He's going to... Like, I see people running double this guy in World Tournament and just dominating with it and going quicker. So I think he's going to be really good there as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a video showing the comparison between him and STR Piccolo. And then Int Piccolo was done like 5 whole seconds, like 4 or 5 whole seconds before the STR one, right?
Because you can skip the animations. The animation's turned off. It's just pop, you're done. It's great.
Yeah. Matt, it's just so good. I can't wait to use them for the next World Tournament, actually.
I lost
Yeah,
my
it's
train
gonna
of
be
thought
awesome.
for a second, but I got it back. The most valuable thing about that too is the fact that you don't lose ghost ushers as frequently, right? Because like you can really run through your ghost ushers quick, right? Like if you grind World Tournament the whole weekend, I got to a point where it's like I probably used like 600-700 in one weekend, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that helps you save those, which is important. They're not easy to come across, right? It's not like you can just keep getting them at all times. I think with the Baba Shop update that kind of fixed itself, but like originally that was like a huge problem.
Yeah, like I said, if you pop it before they attack, if you don't kill him, he's going to nullify attacks, and then you would be free to attack with one of your other AoE units, and you're good to go. So yeah.
And the thing about
it's
World
great.
Tournament is, I believe every enemy only attacks once per turn, so it's literally a
Right.
Ghost Usher.
Right. He is the Ghost Usher with damage, so you're good.
Yeah, so that's a lot of discussion about units that have come out. Let's talk about some returning units really quickly, and this is quite a significant return for a lot of people. The return of the superhero LRs. This is quite a significant return, as you said it earlier, Goresh, but like there is no better candidate for your coins than LR Piccolo. He's still arguably the best unit in the game.
Yeah, I think if you're somebody who has enough coins to buy this Piccolo and you need him, you're not really going to get a better opportunity to spend 500 red coins than you are right now with getting this orange Piccolo, especially with how many good Piccolo characters and Namekians we've been getting recently. Like, obviously, he's going to work really well with all those characters, and I think on a lot of teams, he does fit under the 200% leader skill for a lot of these teams. Like, with how many movie heroes characters we have, with the Battle of Fate stuff we have going on, like, he's just a character that you can really just slap onto any team, and he can just work perfectly fine. He doesn't really struggle for key that much because he gets the extra key sphere per key obtained. Orange Piccolo is pretty much just a get me out of this phase ASAP button. And yeah, I mean, there's not really a safer pick with red coins than Orange Piccolo. Just like if you need him, if your Orange Piccolo's at 55% and you're finished summoning on these banners, I would say pick up a copy for a dupe. I think it for sure is worth it.
And it's like, we don't know when exactly he'll return too, right?
Right, you don't know when it's going to return, and you can't buy the newest unit. So, like, people on Global get stuck in this phase where it's like, oh, I've seen the next thing coming. Like, I want to use my coins on 8th anniversary. Well, it's going to be darn near, November, December by the time you'll actually be able to buy them with coins. So, Piccolo, this is probably one of the most relevant units. At the time you're able to get him with coins, where he stands in the game, like, this is the best unit you could have ever bought with coins in terms of tier list. So, he's a must-buy. I agree with that.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the New Year's units tend to return during the worldwide celebration as well. So that would probably be like the next spot where you'd be able to pick them up.
Right.
Yeah.
We can never say like 100%,
Right.
but usually both the Golden Weekend, New Year's.
Them
units
being
return.
LRs does throw a wrench in it.
I think they should be on the worldwide banners, but I mean, we got 4 months until that happens. So.
Right. Yep. So superhero return, big deal. Some more kind of discussion about this celebration and what could potentially be coming. May 9th is Goku Day, but it is also supposedly supposed to be rebranded as Demon King Piccolo Day. So what do you guys think about that? A potential LR Demon King Piccolo?
Can you imagine the
That'd be
Namekian team?
great. I mean, what I would prefer actually is a Demon King Piccolo that revives into Piccolo Jr. and then the revive animations like him spitting out the egg, because it'd be a brand new named character, and then in the future we can get another Demon King Piccolo.
The way I see it is for an LR version of Demon King Piccolo, I see it being more so like basically how LR Turles and LR Bojack are, where it's Demon King Piccolo parentheses like Demon Clan or something, and it's Demon King Piccolo and then all of his children. We have Tambourine, you have Drum, piano, all his offspring in the card art together. That's the way I see it. I think that's probably the best way to do an LR of him, because if we get a Dokkan Fest down the road, it's most likely just going to be Demon King Piccolo, right? Either elder or young. So that's what I would hope for if we were to get an LR of him. And again, just more buffs to the Namekian. Actually, would he even be on Namekians? I think he probably would be, but you could actually question it, because I don't think like Tambourine and like all the offspring are on Namekians, because that was before those characters were created in the canon before Namekian, like the Namekian concept existed. Like,
Right.
What about LR
you
Turles?
think about what Tambourine is. Like, what is he? It doesn't really make sense in the current context of how the series is. So it's like I think they probably would put them on the Namekian just because he's probably not gonna have that many categories anyway. But I could definitely see the argument for them not to be on it. But yeah.
Just for reference, LR Turles is not on Pure Saiyans.
Yeah, I mean, that makes
so.
Yeah, what I'm excited for, if this potential LR is like a Demon King Piccolo, I think it would solve one of Piccolo Jr.'s flaws, is that his link set, it's geared towards like kind of these Cooler and Frieza units with like big bad bosses, Thirst for Conquest, stuff like that. But then he's got like Guidance of the Dragon Balls, and he's got these Dragon Ball Saga links. Well, if they just release a new LR Demon King Piccolo that just has a very similar link set, I think that would be really nice just to have that linking set up too. So I would be excited for that.
Yeah, and then even if a potential LR Demon King Piccolo is not on the Namekians team, he would obviously still fit under the Piccolo Jr.'s leader skill, and all the other Namekians would also fit under there because of the Gifted Warrior thing. So.
Yep, and he wouldn't need the Namekian link because Piccolo Jr. doesn't use it, so they would still synergize just fine.
Okay, there you go. Part 2. I feel like that's kind of like the one of the picks, right? But we talked about the summonable banners, but not the summonable banners, but like the Dokkan Fest ones. What about this ticket banner that everyone's going to be able to get a free summon on? We talked about some of the positives of that. We have the doubled rates, the guaranteed 2 featured SSRs, I believe it is. I think this is kind of a good addition for the celebration because it's not like a massive sit and wait for like 3 LRs or anything like that, but it is just free, right? Don't have to pay for anything. It's always nice to have stuff like this in these celebrations.
Unlike say Worldwide Celebration and then Anniversary, it's like 3 parts. Mm-hmm. There's only 2 parts, so we just have to wait for part 2 to be able to do this multi. And it being double rates is pretty cool. There's some good featured units, like even their Guinea Force units. Like you could still run the Guinea Force team with a lot of content. I like Piccolo a lot. Obviously, he's really good. Even on JP, we have like unfeatured Chilai, Yajirobe. There's some good options on this banner.
Fasha.
Yeah, Fasha's good too.
You and this Fasha.
Yeah, Fasha's good.
Yes. She's
Android 8.
Yes.
Okay, ticket banner. I'm glad that we talked about that. Some events that are coming up, or maybe not even coming up, that have returned. We have the Guru event. Link levelers rejoice. There is even more chances to get link levels outside of the keys. I'm sure you guys are excited about that. We have Chain Battle coming up against Shen. We talked about the arts, how recently we had 2 of those arts come out in the game, one for this Chain Battle and one for the World Tournament unit. And, I guess with the other events, like we kind of discussed, like maybe a potential Demon King Piccolo Goku event, I believe that we could see. Not like obviously a Goku event, but that kind of format. But that would kind of lead us into the kind of negatives towards this celebration. Not too many. Goresh, I know you talked about a lack of a support memory related to this saga coming from this celebration in specific.
Yeah, I don't really have many nitpicks about the celebration. I think overall it's pretty consistent with what we would expect. I've seen some people complain about not having red zone, but it's like we didn't have a red zone for a lot of celebrations. So I can understand that people might have, falsely expected to get a red zone for this. It would have been nice to get one, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think a lack of a new story mode or a story event coming out is probably a little bit weird because we usually get new story events for big celebrations like this. And then along with that, obviously we didn't get a support memory, which I would have at least liked to have some kind of support memory from the saga. Maybe some scene from the Goku vs. Piccolo fight that would have worked better as a support memory as opposed to like an animation and a super attack or something. So it's just small things like that. It's nothing really too major because I do think this is a good celebration overall.
I would say, there's still part 2 we can anticipate. Like they could always throw in a story event in part 2, right? It is kind of weird because like Dragon Ball Saga like doesn't have a story event, right? At best we have the Goku and Chi-Chi like filler arc, but like the actual like Dragon Ball Saga or the World Tournament doesn't have its own story event. At most, JP has that support memory where Goku takes Piccolo's punch because remember when Kami blocked it, right? And that's it. Global have to wait for the anniversary to get that, but I don't know. I think there could be a little more, right? This is not part of Golden Week, but Goku Day is coming, and it's like I feel like they designed Goku Day to coincide with Golden Week, where maybe the Golden Week celebration itself doesn't get a difficult piece of content, but on Goku Day we get like a new legendary event. I mean, it seems like it could be Piccolo Day this year, right? All the official Dragon Ball accounts are kind of saying that, right? Like the one official Dragon Ball account that kind of tweets like manga panels and stuff, like the really grainy manga panels. But yeah, I'm excited to see what could come for part 2 still.
Yeah, so we've saved the best for last. Super Strike Cyborg Tao.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I feel like this is kind of the substitution for the story event, where it's just like, okay, these missions give you like 20 stones, which is usually what you get from like a story event anyway. But at the very least, the character is unusable. But I guess that's kind of what we've come to expect with these.
Yeah, I'd say the good part about it is, like you said, you get the rewards. I just love the Super Strike revamp in general, like how quick you get these guys done. Like, it's lightning fast to get them done. But I do actually have like higher expectations for these Super Strike units because they've made some very good ones. I thought the failed fusions as a rotation actually can do some crazy damage. I did 11 mil with that physical Gotenks, which is kind of crazy. And then I like the Mecha Frieza King Cold rotation. I like King Vegeta, Kid Vegeta. Like there's some good units there. So to see this guy not be that great is kind of disappointing. I think he could have definitely been better, but he's easy to get. It's free reward, so I'll definitely still take it.
I like his link set: Crane School, Supreme Warrior, Coward, Bombardment, Revival, and Super Strike and Shattering the Limit. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why these units, like the ones that are good, have a good Super Strike running mate, because Super Strike and Bombardment are very impactful links, and you only get those from Super Strike units. Like I think Tao's best partner is Mecha Frieza. So
that's really
tells you. Yep.
Classic Mecha Frieza with the Crane School link. I love that.
Speaking of Super Strikes, did we talk about the Piccolo Jr.? Like
we haven't yet.
Super Strike. Like I hope that does come back maybe for part 2, but maybe they're just like nah.
They don't want to give you another viable Piccolo Jr. They just want you to summon for the one.
I mean, it would be
feel
cool
like if they don't do it
solid.
now, it's not coming, right? Like this would be the time to do it.
I feel like Piccolo Jr. like really wants just like one extra partner that's like, big bad bosses, thirst for conquest, with the Dragon Ball Saga links, and hopefully like even the Piccolo Jr. like Super Strike could possibly help with that.
Ever since they brought back the Tech Toa and Physical Mira onto banners, I will never say never. So maybe.
Right. Yep. And there was that STR Goku that they brought back on the banners after a long time.
Yep, him too.
So, yeah.
Just waiting for the Tech Frieza now.
There you go.
Oh yeah, he has a return. But it's like maybe for like Piccolo Day, they return that Super Strike Piccolo event, right? And that's why they haven't done it now.
Maybe so.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we've basically kind of gotten everything out onto the record here of what we think about the celebration. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
I mean, we didn't really talk a lot about Krillin and Tien. And I think Krillin is just designed so well. Like, I love his design as a support unit. He's one of these units that gets a bunch of defense on super, but they compensate that by giving him extra damage reduction in slot 1, or before he gets hit, basically. And then he gains all the defense, and then he still has 40% damage reduction. Like, this Krillin's actually nutty. So I just want to say I love Krillin. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I guess we kind of briefly brushed over it. Just like we were like, yeah, a new Krillin, very good, but a lot of Krillin banner units. We talked about that earlier, but I understand where you're coming from with that.
Well, the funny thing about the Krillin is that JP hasn't even gotten the EZA for Prime Battle Krillin, and it's like he's a third as good as this Krillin. Yeah. He's terrible compared to this Krillin. So it's just funny that they're overshadowing the character that's not even out yet for the new summonable character. It's just funny.
You know what is also kind of funny? It's not that big of like a time difference, but they added that extra additional normal to him, so you could technically triple super now in like World Tournament. But the thing is that it's like a rare chance to get the second one off. So now there's just a normal before his guaranteed additional super attack that adds slightly more time compared to it just being 2 supers, which is kind of funny too.
Yeah.
I guess he's just there for team cost in the World Tournament. I mean, that's always kind of been his role, right? Just that 99 team cost.
I mean, at this point, you just run double in Piccolos, and then you just run 99 team cost LRs, and then you're good, right?
Yeah. STR Piccolo had 2 World Tournaments to be to shine, and everybody's like, all right, never mind, back to what we were normally doing.
Yep, that's about it.
Okay, with all that being said, I think that's it, right? Like I said, I'll open it up one more time. Any closing thoughts?
I am a big fan of the celebration. I really hope that they look at other underrepresented, not just characters like Kale or Saiyan Saga Yamcha somehow got one, but moments that deserve a Dokkan Fest. Like Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Fat Boo doesn't really have that much representation in Dokkan, and I would consider that a pretty hype fight because that's the first time we saw Super Saiyan 3 in action. So moments like those that are not that are pretty hype, but just have no representation in Dokkan, I think is where they should be pinpointing their focus on.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku 2, right? We haven't had that one since the Tech one, not even good animations.
One that always comes to mind to me, despite Goresh being here, is the one when after Frieza survives the Spirit Bomb. I think that needs better representation as well.
Well, they completely wasted that. I mean, they could definitely do it again, but they completely wasted that art on the SSR of AGL banner unit Frieza. What are they doing? Like, that was the worst decision ever.
A ceiling AoE.
I mean, they could do it as an LR and make it like an LR type art. Right?
That is, dude, that is Frieza's most iconic like pose. Him on the rock, like that. That's it. He kills Krillin on there.
Triggers the Super Saiyan transformation. Then moment, right? It's huge. Okay, I think we're going to call it there. Thank you guys for giving your thoughts, and as well, thank you guys for listening to us go on for this video. The celebration is not quite over yet, so I don't think we should give like a rating or anything like that. But with all that being said, don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy today's video and subscribe to the 59 channel here. And with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.